So November 6th was the 20th. Was it November 6th?
Yeah.
No, November, 6th. 20 years since the Boondocks appeared. 20. I did not know it had been
6
years.
Yeah.
So shout out to, first off, I want to shout out Aaron McGruger, and Carl Jones of Martian Blueberry. That crazy cast of voice actors, including Deborah Wilson.
Jesus.
Goodness.
So there are moments in that show that will always stand out. But before we get to the moments that stood out in that show, I want to ask this crew: do you think we can do that show today?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is a resounding yes, and I love it.
There is no hesitation in that. Yes.
Especially since the line has been drawn in the sand since November, we care for no one else's input.
I was gonna say yes. It has to be on a Cheeto-free network. Because if it's not on a Cheeto-free network,
Cheeto-free
he's not wrong though. He's not.
It has to be on a Cheeto-free network because if not, it will get nerfed. Everybody remembers the Tyler Perry episode, don't we?
Speaking of which,
that was such a weird time to experience in real life.
Speaking of which, it's funny you say that. Here's an episode we did with Carl Jones talking about just that. But seeing it, like actually watching it, was creating a whole. I'm like, there's no way they put that. Oh,
and the boundaries that y'all got to push.
Like, oh my dear.
Yeah, the boundaries y'all got to push was
at that point I was in. I was like, I am all in. Like, they're not gonna put that on Cartoon Network.
Like where else did y'all have? Like, I want to know whose idea, because we're pushing boundaries. Like, how did y'all get Snoop Dogg? How did y'all get Mac 10? How did y'all
Sam
get
Jackson?
Sam Jack.
How did y'all get
Sam Jack?
Charlie Murphy.
How did y'all convince these people to like, hey, come on the Boondocks, we'll give you a character? How did y'all? I mean, I gotta know that. How did y'all rope them into? I guess is the best way I could ask that question.
I don't know, man. I think you know, I mean, look, I felt like we did mean something to the culture, right? So you know what I mean? Like they, you know, people, even before the show launched, I mean, people were aware of the comic strip, and you know, it was an important thing for the culture. So a lot of people just wanted to be a part of it, just to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it wasn't hard to get a lot of people, and Aaron had some relationships also with like Sam Jackson, and I think we got Snoop through DJ Pooh actually.
Okay.
DJ Pooh, he was one of the writers on the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It was just one of those things, man. Especially after the first season, it was like, you know, everybody just wanted to go play. You know what I mean? And so, you know, we had Ghostface and Quincy Jones
on there.
Whoa.
Crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, I just think it was really for the love, man, and wanting to support this Black animated show that was really speaking to the culture in an honest way, you know.
Yeah, because that was, I think for the longest time, correct me if I'm wrong, the Boondocks was probably the best representation of Black animation at the time in its own entity, because I can't think of another. It was that was really run alongside you guys at that time.
It was because it literally spoke on issues that we were dealing with and putting it almost in a satirical way. And that was the beauty of the comic strip. You know, so when they went straight to animation, I'm like, yeah, there's no way they.
But I just love how y'all incorporate certain things. Like, how did y'all incorporate the fight?
The Luther?
The Luther was one. The movie theater was still one of my favorites because it's basically Chinese Connection. I'm like, how did y'all get the fight scene from Chinese Connection into the movie theater between Ruckus and Huey?
Bro. that I got to give credit to Sung Kim. I don't know if you know who Sung Kim is, but like you just got Google him. You'll see his work. He's like one of the best artists I've ever seen in my life. Like he's an incredible director, incredible animator, character design. Like he's just amazing. And he boarded that sequence that you're talking about. But we're fans of kung fu movies and all the Star Brothers stuff. You know what I mean? Like so you saw the opening like we did with Sting. So it was like it was, I don't know, man. It was really, the show was. I mean, look, a lot of people that were working on that show, it was their first time working in television, so we had we had this this really mixed bag of unique people that had very specific experiences, and we gelled with the type of things that we found funny and the stuff that we wanted to say and do. We had like talented writers like Rodney Barnes and Yamara Taylor and people that are doing like really big things now, but like in the beginning, we were just having fun, man. Like it was really, on the art side and on the writing side, and even in the voiceover booth. That's another thing. I just want to real quick. I want to say, our voiceover actors were amazing. Like we can't even take full credit for all of the comedy that's in the show because there's a lot of stuff because we would give them room to improv. All of them. Gary Anthony Williams, Stephen Yarborough, the late John Witherspoon, Regina King, they obviously had scripts, but when they went off page and they owned these characters in their own way, Granddad was really John Witherspoon.
Yeah.
And so.
Y'all were so young back then. Oh, y'all were so adorable. That's the
first time I've seen myself with full beard.
Oh,
that was my first episode of beard. That was my first episode of this show. That was the first time I ever tuned in.
Oh, y'all were so cute. It was so adorable. Oh,
my hair
was looking all young and vibrant, and then the kids ate his soul.
I was just in the comments.
Honey, can you bring me the Bijin, please?
I was strictly in the comments to be the original Chaos Demon, and then I realized who y'all was talking to, and I was like, I can really get these jokes off now.
When my beard didn't look like Navy's beard right now.
Before the two children.
Before the two children. So no, but I have to agree. I think it's a show that we can really use right now. Let's face it. South Park is doing numbers.
Yep.
Despite it all, they're still doing their thing.
Yeah,
and not apologizing for it. They're just like, "Oh, you did that." We're writing that in the script.
but that's my point, though. But that's my point. It's on Paramount, and we all know Paramount is in certain monitored enemy territories. So that's why it's like, "Oh yeah, our episode, yeah, we'll get back to y'all on that." That tells me that you're trying to hinder the process. So. If you're going to do the Boondocks,
I believe the South Park creators have it in their clause. They're like, you cancel us, you got to pay us. So you might as well just let us go.
Oh, that amount, that cancellation amount. Whoever was their lawyers, they made
it's a very smart move. They were just like, they can't cancel us because we're gonna say and do whatever we want. I'm like, it's a smart move,
right? The amount of money that they would have to fork over is crazy. That is, I can retire and do whatever I want money for the rest of my days. And then
we found out about that. We found out about that deal the same day that infamous commercial that they played. And that commercial was so gloriously, and it wasn't done by AI. It was all real actors. So
wow.
That was their first episode of the new season. So yeah. But yeah, Boondocks is something we need right now. We need for our culture. We need that right now.
But I mean, there's so like I said, like you said, there is so much ammo to work with right now. If you think about it, the avenues that they could go, and I'm like I said, I agree with everybody else. It's a perfect time for that show to come back, and and you can do so in a way to where you don't have to overdo it. The material's already there. You just got to run with it.
That part.
It's just we got to work around casting is the problem. But what you got, Mike?
Yeah.
About what, like with the Boondocks and stuff?
Yeah.
You know, it's been a good while since I've like watched a good Boondocks episode. I don't know if you guys like noticed like recently when I was like I've been like a little bit of a TikTok fiend. I noticed that like with like Cat Williams, he plays a character by the name of pimp named Splitback.
Yes.
Yeah.
That somehow became such a huge meme on TikTok where people like have remixed his song and stuff to where people are doing like that side dance.
Yeah.
You know,
we actually know a pimp named Slickback. Bill Johnson has cosplayed as a pimp named Slickback at BlurCon about a couple of times. So shout out to Bill Johnson.
I may have misplaced some merchandise at this here residence. I was like, yeah, that sold it for me on that one.
The man, that is a character that resonates across the board. Boondocks as a whole has done something a lot of shows still strive to do, and that's resonate across all lines. It doesn't matter how you grew up, where you grew up. You see each show, you enjoyed it because one, it was something you didn't take seriously, and two, they weren't afraid to pull punches. They were not. It was slugfest all the way. Let me tell you.
But I think that like the unique part is like because of like the material they had. It was especially on like the Cartoon Network Adult Swim route, because I think it was on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what we've all been told about Adult Swim. Is like that's one of the few places where you can pretty much do what you want. Because I mean, you got Boondocks at 10, you got Squidbillies at 12, and Xavier Renegade Angel at 2 a.m. Like it's.
Don't forget Aqua Teen Hunger Force at midnight.
I've fucked with Aqua Teen heavy. Don't ask me why. Them DVDs do not stay on shelves, and they are hard to find. Like if you want Aqua Teen, you got to fork up some dough. Surprisingly, this is cheap. This is cheap. Like the cheapest collector's set out still.
You can't leave Egg, Frylock, and Meatwad and Carl.
I think the best I've heard Aqua Teen Hunger Force was off the Danger Doom album, like MF Doom and Danger Mouse, and that was a whole homage to the Adult Swim block. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Squidbillies, Space Coast to Coast, the whole nine. So when we talk about Boondocks and soundtracks, had me like, I need this on an album. I need an album of every song that's been in this show, just a full-on mixtape. People would make mixtapes and it might have one of the songs on it, but then it would be like by other artists, like inspired by the Boondocks.
Yeah.
I just need Thug Magnificent to read one book one time. I just need I Am Carl Jones to read any book in the tone of Thug Magnificent. That's all I need.
That's funny because like a lot of people didn't realize that was him, and I didn't put it together until like right before that interview at DreamCon. And he's like, "Yeah, a lot of people don't realize like that was me, like kind of promoting the comics back then." He's like, and now it's come back because it's like I see people, I walk past people playing the audio and not realizing like I was doing Tube Steak as like an early internet bit. They just know Barney's and Noblaze is like a joke now, but. Yeah, and I think it's not a reboot or something because I know there's issues now, but
now that you are in married bliss, how do you feel that Tube Steak would feel about that show Softly? Hilarious. That is.
Start, we ain't know where a bookstore was, nigga. We right here in front of Barney's and Nobley, nigga. Every day.
Tube Steak would be hating. would definitely be hating.
Yeah.
He would think marriage.
You a sucker.
Yeah.
Oh, now you got all that Hollywood money, but you ain't moving no bricks.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, only a sucker would get married and want to like be loyal and faithful and put a ring on a woman's finger. Like,
Don't keep no bitches around us, man. We stay bitchless, nigga.
Buying bitches drink.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what my favorite comment? Somebody called me Thugnificent Significant.
Yeah, I think it's casting, and there was an idea that someone came up with a couple of years ago. It was a great idea actually, and even Jennifer Lewis was on board with them saying. And this was shortly after John Withers. It was maybe a year or so after John Witherspoon had passed, and they were saying, you know, we're picking it up where the boys they lose granddad, but they go get to stay with granddad's sister. It's their great aunt. And she was on board. She actually voiced herself saying, "Yeah, I would love to do it. I would love to do it."
The mother of Black Hollywood, yeah.
I'm like, yo, okay. So you need to talk to Regina King then, right?
And then she said, then Regina, then they did go to Regina, and she was like, I would be 100% on board with coming back. And it's like everybody started getting excited. Like, okay, Regina said she would come back. And then the person we were waiting to see what he was gonna say was like, nah.
Yeah, it was that was Aaron McGruder.
Yeah,
I mean, once you know behind the scenes how things were ran and how the network was wanting one thing, and he's like, no, that's not what I want to do. It's very reminiscent of what Dave Chappelle dealt with.
Yeah,
very
which I can understand from an artist standpoint. I can. But it's like that's like I always tell, like we joke about this all the time on the show. We joke about Blazing Saddles. Like could Mel Brooks do a 2025 version of Blazing Saddles? Probably not, because the jokes he got away with in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you would not be able to do that now.
In 2020.
In 2025, yeah.
In 2025, yeah. So it's like you wouldn't be able to get away with it, but Boondocks a little bit different, and I say this because it's animated. I don't know what it is about animation. You can get away. I don't know why is that you can get away with an animation that you could do with any other format. Because
South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, you know, Simpsons.
You know you can protest the show, but you can't go after specific people. You can't go after the specific stars. If it's a live action, oh yeah, people somehow will say you are the face of that character and you have offended me. So now I'm going to come after you. I'm going to find out where you live and your family. It's like, wow, did you have
I remember an episode of Family Guy where Brian the dog was dating Marlee Matlin, who's a deaf actress. And
oh my gosh, I remember
but they didn't know, but people that was watching it somehow did not know that this was Marlee Matlin still acts.
Yeah.
You know, and she was acting as herself on this show. And they were people, I can't remember what the coalition is called, but they're for deaf children and stuff. And they were just like, this actress is making fun of deaf people. And Marlee Matlin was like, it's me. I'm deaf. What do you mean?
that part was funny. It was like
and that whole torch bring situation died down so quick,
right?
Because it's like, yeah, you're backing the wrong horse. What are you talking about? Like,
I think with animation, Family Guy is probably like one of the shows that I know that like they got away with so much stuff to commercial, but because it's a cartoon, it's not. Sometimes it gets looked over because it's not like a live action repetition, because it's almost like presented as like a parody to like what's going on within current events and stuff. So that's why, with some cartoons, the reason they get away with stuff is that people will potentially look over it because it's just a parody of like what's going on with current events and stuff, as opposed to like you watching like a live action TV show or a live action movie.
It also you can edit it if need be for some, like, because South Park has had some last minute changes they've made to stuff. Like when they did the Washington Redskins episode, it was Colin Kaepernick in the commercial, and like overnight they changed it to the backup QB because the dude had cornrows in the trailer, but then when the show came on, it was that.
It was a whole problem.
Even then, I know people think Family Guy has like gotten kind of weird now, but like I don't think they get credit for how rough they did in the beginning, because if I don't know who did it until it gets removed at the beginning of the year. If you watch like the first 3 seasons, they are completely like the uncut versions of those episodes on Hulu right now. Like they were unhinged. Like there are jokes in there I've never seen on television. Like when they find out Peter is like mentally retarded, I didn't know that there's an entire song and dance number that they never put on television, but it's on Hulu now. Like somebody like took the DVD rips and that's what's up. And I'm like, damn, this is like watching a brand new show. And I see like how much. Exactly. And then when you get to like when you get to like 6 seasons in a row, it's all like the Fox edits where you can tell it's like badly dubbed over with like the more extreme jokes that Adult Swim would let fly, but they wouldn't. And even with Boondocks, like they have a lot of the banned episodes that are up now. Somebody's offended because they will not play the story of Jimmy Rebel. That shit has not been on television. I don't know what it is about that episode. Like Tyler Perry's up there, the BET episodes are up there. Even the places where they're like buy the complete series on digital, that episode is missing.
That's you what have to, you might have to get on. It's damn near Grand Line material.
But that's all I was saying. It goes back to this whole thing. It's like we all remember the Tyler Perry episode, and at the same time, what happened after that? A call was made, and next thing you know, nobody can find that episode. It's like it was scrubbed from everywhere except the internet. But that is, like I said, that just goes to show you exactly. That just goes to show you that impact. It just goes to show you the impact is everything. Because I even sat there, I was like, imagine now. And I hate to invoke his name, but let's just say, imagine now that a certain over 10 individual episode came up with the Boondocks, and let's say you put Aaron Gruder's writing behind it. How long do we think that episode will remain online?
The minute the episode comes up, people will record it, so that way, if it does go down, it doesn't go down.
Memes on TikTok forever.
Because pause only aired once, yet that term was picked up and became worldwide slang after one day. And then I didn't even realize all the controversy had happened. But it was just like, if you were there in real time, you saw that episode air, everyone was laughing, and then there was all these rumors that like Tyler Perry had fired everybody because it was like, well, that was a little too accurate. It's like, well, was that what did we strike a nerve? Because what was that about?
And then years later,
and then 2 days later,
that opens,
and then a couple of days later on Oprah crying in front of the whole country, like telling us about his childhood, and it's like, damn, this is all this from 20 minutes, like one cartoon did this
for literally telling the entire. The funny part was, and I'm just using it as an analogy. Did he ever go after? Did he ever go after Glover for the Atlanta episode?
I don't think so. I don't
think so.
I think so many people would have had to sign off on it by then, and I think FX is under a different company than Cartoon Network was at the time. Because basically they were all under the same umbrella. So they had a chance of hurting the same team, which is why he made that call. It was like, I will pull every spinoff and TV show that I got. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to not play it. And even then, the episode we got was like a watered down version of what they originally made. Because they said it kept getting sent back. And it was like, stop it. Okay, knock it off. All right, we get it. Cut it. And then when we because they did the reunion at DreamCon this year, and Gary was like, yeah, like it's not like we just made that up. That was based on like my experience at the compound. Like it's like we were holding hands and praying, and it wasn't like for like safety. It's like no, they were praying like may we find the jokes and may all the punchlines land. So yeah, I'm kind of looking around like what is happening, and look at Deborah Wilson's arms, like or Angela Bassett's arms. He's like, I told Aaron, I was like, I had a weird day with Tyler Perry. It's like, and then we come back on Monday and there's the script. And I'm like, well, I guess this is happening. So like there was they were cranking out like South Park scripts very fast and then just tweaking them on the fly. So it was funny to hear the origin story of how that happened. It's just that and Usher. They're just like, yeah, this is just shit that really.
My God.
This is all shit that really happened to us. Like a lot. We didn't have to write a lot of it. This was all.
So the Usher episode. And Carl just recently revealed this, but we knew. The Usher episode actually happened to him.
Wow.
Dang.
It was a girl he was dating at the time, and that whole ordeal, it happened at a dinner. Not it was in verbatim, not panel for panel like what happened with Tom, but it went down, and he was like, "What the hell? I lost my girl to Usher." Well, I mean, I can't get too mad. It's just like if you lost your girl to Prince, what you gonna get? You gonna get mad at Prince? Go home and dip myself in the lakes and the waters of Lake Minnetonka and just soak.
It's still. I mean, my mind goes back to Riley. I mean, anybody but Usher. You let that. It's like just. I just can't get it out of my head that how to take it. You know what? They say comedy comes from a little bit of pain, but
it does.
Dang.
It does.
Imagine
for those who are watching or just not listening, go back several episodes on the YouTube channel or wherever you listen to the podcast and listen to or watch the Carl Jones episode, because there's some moments in that episode that went down.
Mm. Yeah,
just ask Tracy Morgan.
That was a wild first episode for me, because y'all had him on, and then Tracy called it live, and then the fact that he's like, no, Tracy is just like this. He'll just, you ever been to this restaurant? No. Okay, click. All right. He's like, nah, Tracy, that's he is just like that in real life. But getting to meet the cast this year was cool. If anything, a reunion special is kind of what everybody's pushing for, because Fresh Prince was nice, and then they pulled out all the stops for the Friends reunion, and it was just like, y'all could have did that for the first people over here. And then I think they've done a couple other. I think Martin had one recently. I'm blanking on the names, but I know a few other shows. So between HBO Max and this Adult Swim relationship, and I think that's the only people you can get Aaron McGruder, because he is a real life unicorn. He's somewhere in a bunker, apparently writing the next Friday script. So we will see his work soon. But I think it would be dope. DreamCon was nice, but they literally got everybody they could. Regina is busy. Aaron is just hard to get a hold of. But they very much liked being with each other, liked having each other. Bringing JD out was cool too, because that the fact that he's also technically in the show, and I feel like it's weird that nobody ever brings that up, because I saw it on his IMDb, but when he finally mentioned it on the panel, I was like, so I wasn't tripping, because your name does pop up in the credits, and even with the whole casting thing, I'm shocked that that didn't get brought up. He's in it for all of 2 minutes, but still, you got to be in this show with your dad and this cool cast of people 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we get out and do our sign off, I want to talk about everybody's favorite episode or moment out of Boondocks. Mike, we'll start with you.
My favorite episode. I don't remember the actual name of the episode, but I'll probably give you a snippet of what I remember of this episode. And I'm a strong person when it comes to diversity. So when I was watching an episode where Granddad was dating a white woman, and this white woman was a prostitute that belonged to the pimp named Slickback, I believe.
Guest hoes coming to dinner is the name.
Guest hoes coming to dinner, yeah.
And I think that Granddad was trying to play the knight in shining armor to the white woman against pimp named Slickback.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to understand, everyone, this is the educational part of our show. You see how Michael, our guest, knew to say a pimp named Slickback, because it's all one word. It's all one name.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing.
I'll be honest, half them jokes went over my head as a kid, but I get it now.
Chrissy says Thugnificent is in her top 5. What about you, Navy?
The introduction of a pimp named Slickback. That was my favorite episode when he was dating her, and then you just got the reveal of this velvety smooth brother whose name was 4 words. A pimp named Slickback. No,
it was the pan up, and I'm like, this Negro look like Cat Williams. Oh, it is Cat Williams.
It is Cat Williams.
As soon as you heard his voice, I said, you cannot. No one could have pulled this off and been as iconic as Cat Williams.
Momentum Media. Welcome. Spartan.
I was gonna say Thugnificent, but the one that's always gonna stick in my head. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy and Samuel L. Jackson. redoing multiple Pulp Fiction scenes. One of my personal favorite. I never heard, literally the one where he did with Riley. He's like, what do you, of course, what country are you from? What, and then, English, do you speak it? So you understand what I'm saying to you. And it's like that episode, that one, just whenever the interaction happens, that's my favorite ones outside of Thugnificent, because again, I keep on finding myself saying whenever I'm playing video games, that's right, bask in it. Just bask in it. Just bask in it.
What about you, Tafar?
So me and my cousin, our favorite one was Stink Meter Strikes Back, but like season 2 is my favorite because it's full of so many gems.
Same thing Bama said.
Especially because season 2 had the first 2 banned episodes I had on LimeWire, and before it became a quote that everybody used, it was like my hidden gem for 10 years. When I realized now who CeeLo was supposed to be playing, it just sold Huey out for a show on BET. But he gives up on the hunger strike, and he's like, like, what do you do when you can't do nothing? But there's nothing you can do. So you do what you can.
Thanks, Granddad. Granddad, what do you do when you can't do nothing, but there's nothing you can do?
You do what you can.
And I was like, man, this should have been on television. But I'm like, I get it. Y'all can't just say fuck BET for 40 minutes and get away with it. So, I mean, the show was great. It was a pivotal point in my life. Sting Meter was just hilarious as a character. And finding out that Cedric Yarborough, he's like, so when we came up with the voice, Stink Meter is just, I'm just a bill, just at a higher pitch. That's all that. He's like, that's all that is like the guy who does. I'm just a bill. He's like, I'd take that. He's like, take that, just crank it up higher with more, and there you get Stink Meter. And I was a big fan of school. He's like, I was a Schoolhouse Rock fan, and I was like, I think I can take that and turn it into something. So,
not Chocolate Giddy Up.
Yeah, if y'all get a chance, man, we got to interview the cast at DreamCon this year. It was great. Christy, this is the full series box set. So I got Cedric, I got Gary Anthony Williams, I got Yamara Taylor, Rodney Barnes, and then JD Witherspoon up here. So and then Carl Jones at the top. But yeah, Boondocks has been a pivotal in my life because it was like, okay, so
a pivotal show. It's what it
was. Because like I'd never experienced black people don't like black people until I got hit with the Everybody Hates Chris and got bussed out the ghetto. Like when I got bussed out the hood to a mostly white middle school, I was like, I was like, okay, so like this at least happened. It happened to Chris Rock, so I'm not crazy. But then one of our only black workers there was this. I just thought if you was yellow with like had yellow eyes, I didn't know what jaundice was. I thought you were just evil. Like nobody had proved me wrong till this point. So we get there, we got this dark skinned security guard who just treats us like Ruckus treats Huey and Riley. I was like, oh, so they're like people like you exist in real life. What's good, brother? What is up? Oppression is up, brother. Yeah, the fake. Yeah, I didn't realize
the fake neighbor. Oh yeah, at the funeral, at the wake.
The fake. I didn't realize salami, eggs, and bacon is supposed to be assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I was like everybody I met who had them yellow has never been nice to me. So like up until that point, I'm like, y'all got demons. I thought there was real life demons or some shit. So we had the security guard. I was the only person she never wrote up or caught doing anything, bro. She treated us like it wasn't a lot of us, but she treated us like shit. But on weekends, I was like, oh, it's just Aunt Ruckus, because clearly this is based off of. And then finding out Ruckus is based off of real people, because Gary Anthony Williams was like, no, the Ruckus ain't even like a caricature. That is my father's friends who would come over on Sunday nights, and they would just talk about how much they didn't like other black people. Like, so that's it. So the fact that his childhood became Ruckus, which like was pivotal in mine, and now Gary, who is now my YouTube introduction, and just helped me like realize, okay, I'm not crazy. Other people have either experienced or imagined this shit at some point in their life. Also, I think I think you weren't supposed to make the Luther. That was the whole joke of the episode. Like a new diet ruined an entire neighborhood. Like I feel like everyone just kind of glossed over that. And then having Busta Rhymes and DMX, I was downloading all them shits to my MP3 players back in the day. Like I definitely had F Granddad like as my ringtone for a while.
I will have to say a favorite moment was realizing that Mr. Onceler's grandson was the voice of Charlie Murphy. And I'm like, this shit looks so odd. All of this looks so weird right now.
The fuck y'all looking at?
Like it was Charlie Murphy and his friend, and it was Charlie Murphy and Sam Jackson, but they were white. And I'm like, this looks so weird.
I was looking for bitches, but I couldn't really see anything because their eyes was covered up. And you know, I can't really don't come for her eyes, but you know, if I take the carpet off. I got
motherfuckers shooting at you.
But my favorite episode, one of my favorite episodes, is the Haterocracy, which was Stink Meter 3.
Yeah.
For various reasons. One, the Ballad of Bushido Brown is still a hard ass track to listen to. I'm sorry. That song will get you hyped. It's a shame he went out the way he did, but here we are. Because Bushido Brown reminds you of Jim Kelly, right, from the 70s. But the Haterocracy, man, that was nothing but the cast of Sanford and Son. It was great. I was like, I'm like, wait a minute, why does she look like? Oh my god!
And then the Naruto frames that people found in there because it came from the same studio.
Oh yeah,
but that was genuinely that was my first time ever hearing of the whole crabs in a barrel philosophy. Like I heard it that episode was my introduction to that whole thing. Like I never knew. And then having not Bob Ross as Riley's art teacher, which it's funny because like when our childhood, like because a lot of our moms and dads like worked all day, so we had this lady who babysat like our entire neighborhood. And when she passed, we put together like a memorial. And at the beginning of the tribute, I used that little bit from Riley Was Here as like our introduction. So when he's like, you know, let's paint a picture of some like people we love, maybe somebody that's not with us anymore. And I'm like, this is the most inappropriate show to be using for a fucking funeral, but like I got this little bit in here. I found this little bit in. No one else, like me and my friends knew, but like no one in the church knew that's where that quote came from. That was like, that was a beautiful way to start. I'm like, I'll never tell them. But
damn,
yeah, just the way it's been so impactful. And I'm like, even without the cat, like I know we may not figure out the John thing, but I still think you could remix that show. I think you could take it as it is. Like my idea for like a spinoff, take the Freemans out, send them on summer vacation with like Aunt Cookie in Chicago or some shit, and just follow the craziness of the neighborhood and just call the show Woodcrest.
I mean, JD does his father's voice very well. Pretty well.
He does, but somebody just when everyone else was on board, there was somebody who strong-armed it and said no. And it's like if y'all can't figure that out, age up everybody a few years.
That
like
part, like Bama said, the way Fred said the N-word, I'm like, yeah, man, you talking about shock. I'm like,
that. It's funny because they have the white lady who did like they have a white lady who did the voice direction. It's like apparently she had to read some of the lines. He's like Fred and a lot of people were very shocked when we brought them in because, and then you got Mos Def playing a gay rapper. I still want to know who actually got who
busted the slob.
I want to know who actually pressed them about that. Because somebody was pissed.
That was not gangster.
not gangster.
I think you could age the boys up and just have them like cameo via FaceTime calls or something until you get it figured out. But literally just remove them and just follow everyone else's episodic madness.
Yep.
And just call them
birth music. That was most definitely.
Just
May as he goes by now.
Technically, you could make it work with them being in the Shy. Tom could have divorced old girl and took his daughter and lived up there.
I would take the Freemans and put them on like vacation. They call it like we get maybe a cameo from an aged up Huey and Riley, but just follow the episodic craziness of the rest of the neighborhood and just call the show Woodcrest until you get it figured out. Because we've seen plenty enough with Tom, his wife, everyone, Jasmine, Ruckus. Everyone has had their own focused stories and like enough about them to where you could write episodes about them with Huey and Riley cameoing without working Granddad into it, and you could literally make the show focus like that until you figure out how you want to reintroduce Granddad, and it's a nice way to still keep it going. And I know every now and then Jasmine calls Huey for advice, and maybe we get a look at like an older version,
like get a text or something like that, or like
like a text message, a pop up, like a photo, like he looks like he's having fun, and him and Cairo patched it. Something, because you could still keep there's a way to bring it back. It's just a lot of conversations got to be had.
A lot of red tape. It's a lot of red tape.
Hey man, look, y'all was able to get Will Smith and Janet back on, and now she's about to be in Bel Air, so
it can be worked out.
Adult Swim, HBO, get that reunion special going, man. I know y'all have everyone's contact. Y'all can pull it off.
Right. Well, this is our sign off time.